hallway, please? Come on in. You guys all take a seat.
I think it's really beneficial to have the Ubeats program in the future. I think it's a great time for students to learn about the scientific process. And at the same time, some of our students who aren't as familiar with English, it's extra practice for them with English and to socialize with other students who know English as well. And I think it's a great habit of mind of asking a question and then trying to find the answer here. I think music and science really help students because music really emphasizes the idea of practice and refinement, and so does performing in this puppet show. And that's just a skill that you use to get better at anything, and I think that's a really good transfer. Science is basically a process of asking a question and then trying to determine if your hypothesis is true or not. And I think that's helpful in a number of career fields, and it's really just a good habit to get into as a way of thinking. Thinking, you know, this is what I think, and then trying to test whether that's true or not.
All right, now, like this. No. You're gonna take your scissors again, and you cut along the one of the slit. You're gonna make one slit to where it meets in the middle.
I think having an imagination and being creative, for young children, it's really just a way for them to entertain themselves, but I think all of our biggest sort of entrepreneurs, people like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, they all had a really big imagination and sort of made something out of nothing, which is a really useful skill as an adult. There's not a big difference in between the way I talk to Ubeats students and the students at my school. I would say Ubeats has more of sort of an informal and sort of family style way of being, which is different than school where it's a little more strict and maybe not as friendly with students at school. So it definitely is a more informal approach to learning. The students here at Ubeats are very different from the students I teach. I teach at a local middle school, and so it's really interesting to learn about all the different countries and types of communities that these kids are from. So I learn all the sorts of different values and cultures that these students come from that I'm not necessarily familiar with, which has been really interesting.
Ubeats is really a wonderful program. It's taking a lot of different disciplines and synthesizing them together. So you have things that the core of it, which is the science and that learning aspect, that educational aspect, and then it's really beautiful in the way that it sort of marries that together with the puppetry and the theater arts. So it's taking something that people have been, two things that people have been doing for thousands of years, exploring their world through science and exploring kind of the human experience through theater and through puppetry, and it puts them together. So you have two really important, impactful sort of disciplines like that together. I think that makes a lot of sense, and sort of they complement each other, particularly in Ubeats. Games are always wonderful, and so I think that those get incorporated a good portion, but it's games with a focus on the storytelling, games with a focus on sort of working as an ensemble, at least in my classroom, and so that's been an important part. Sure. I think that Ubeats has done a really wonderful thing with pairing the science and the puppetry together. I think that the puppetry sort of serves the science in this sense because it helps the science come alive in a very meaningful, very tactile way. Through the research, the students have learned hopefully a multitude of things about their animals. Everything from the habitat that the animal lives in, how they interact with other animals, what they fear, and then sort of as a part of all of that, how they vocally, musically, I suppose you could say, interact with their environment and with others.
Cheese!
I'm not going to live that down every time I